And good morning, everybody. Well, Intel did report today, but I have far better news than Intel. Trust me, nobody wants to talk about Intel today. I have a great guest here. I've told you about this guy for a week now. We met on Instagram. We're becoming friendly. This guy's awesome. I mean, I think we've talked every single day this week, so I'm going to introduce him right now. Jordan Devlin, ring name JD McDonagh. JD, I'm going to bring you in right now. Here he is. This guy's awesome.
Morning.
Good morning. How are you? So, JD, Jordan, let me run through this and read off these accomplishments. So, he's in the WWE NXT series. You can watch these guys every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. I watched him this week. That was a good one. Listen to this, guys. NXT UK, longest reigning cruiserweight champ in WWE history. That's an incredible one. He wrestled over in Japan at the age of 21, so that probably made him mature just a little bit, going over there all by yourself. He has a bachelor's degree from University College of Dublin. There's a story behind that one. So JD, welcome to the show. Guys, enjoy this one. This guy's awesome. He comes from, first of all, he's in the WWE. So he has to have a very strict lifestyle. He's got the body, the diet, the regimen of being on television. So here we go. Take it away. Introduce yourself and we'll run from there.
What's up, Mal? Thanks very much for having me on. I'm a big fan. When I knew I was coming on the show today, I got to bed early last night to make sure I was well rested. Got up early, had my coffee, ready to go.
So kind of run us through who you are. I've told the story a million times, and I told you, I've played baseball. I've got to the semi-pro level, but I couldn't even imagine getting to basically where you're at is considered the major leagues. So kind of how did you get into that? And to me, wrestling is like, it's an entertainment thing that you watch on TV, but I've never been around somebody that's like, I want to be a pro wrestler on television. Kind of, when did that click for you? How did that story come about? And give us your run through the ranks.
Yeah, I can remember watching wrestling in my parents' sitting room at 7 years old with like a salad bowl full of Cocoa Pops every Saturday morning. And I would just watch it for hours. And then one day, my mother came home from the shopping and she had a tear off from an ad from the shop saying that there's a wrestling school opening up in Bray about 10 minutes down the road. So she thought it was like collegiate wrestling.
Of course.
Greco-Roman. So I said, I'll give it a try. Yeah, anything that's like what I see on TV,
yeah,
I'm all for.
Yeah.
So we went down to this little school hall and we walked in the door and there was a professional wrestling ring set up with the three ropes and everything. And I was like, oh, whoa.
This is it.
Yeah, this is it. So I swear to God, I didn't miss a training session for about 6 years. Like we were planning family vacations around me coming home on Sundays to be able to train in wrestling.
Wow.
And then, yeah, I never grew out of it. I never stopped thinking it was cool. And by the time that I was, I should have been grown out of it, I was already performing in front of crowds. It was my passion, yeah.
So I have to ask, who's your favorite wrestler? Like, who'd you look up to growing up?
I really like Triple H. Even though he was a bad guy, I always kind of had an affinity for the bad guys.
The bad guys, yeah.
Yeah, everybody was either a Stone Cold Steve Austin or The Rock guy.
The Rock,
and
of course.
I was a Triple H guy.
I will say I love Triple H. There was a store here in Cleveland many years ago, but they sold a lot of wrestling gear. So I had a couple of Triple H shirts. I always loved that guy. He was just a gritty dude that, he didn't give an F about anything.
Yeah, he's a total badass.
So I'm looking at this and when you went to Japan in your early 20s, kind of tell us. That's a big move for a kid that is in their early 20s and you're just like, well, I'm going to go to Japan. I'm sure you got great experience over there, but what kind of took you over there?
So I knew that Japan was like a stronghold for wrestling. So WWE has always been sports entertainment. And in Japan, they were wrestlers, and I wanted to learn the technical style, hard hitting, and I wanted to learn a different style of my craft. So I said to my dad I wanted to go, and he said, well, you can go, but I want you to go to college first. I want you to get your degree. wrestling's a dangerous sport. You never know what's going to happen. You need to have
Backup
something to fall
plan.
back on. So I wrapped up my degree the May of 2011
Okay.
and got on the plane in June and didn't come home to get my degree, nothing. I just went straight out and lived there for 6 months and without knowing a word of the language, without knowing anybody out there.
So what, did you just train every single day with?
Yeah.
Wow.
I moved into a dojo with a bunch of wrestlers. We were living in a 2-bedroom apartment. There was 15 of us in there.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was like high 80s, 90s in the middle of summer in Japan.
Oh my gosh.
We'd come to the dojo, they'd close the windows, turn the AC off, and we'd train for like 4 or 5 hours.
And they just sweat you guys out?
Oh my God, it was like a labor camp. It was brutal conditions.
That's incredible. And then, so from there, so were you 22 when you moved back to the UK?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
and is that when you got into the UK NXT?
No, this is a long story. I was
okay.
before WWE ever came.
We got time.
Yeah. I got picked up by WWE when I was, I think, 26 years old.
Oh, okay. So you grinded there for a little while.
The independent scene around Europe, and I got as far as Canada and obviously Japan.
Yeah.
But I'd never wrestled in the USA until WWE.
Right. So I have to ask, is the ultimate goal is to get to the United States, right? Into that WWE.
For me, for sure, yeah. That was always my goal from when I was, as I said, 7 years old.
Right. And we were talking about this before. So guys, you didn't have a plan B, right? This was it.
No.
So we were talking before, and what's that?
Any energy committed to your plan B takes away from plan A.
And that's exactly it. I was telling him about the Derek Jeter documentary that's on ESPN right now, and Derek wanted to be shortstop for the Yankees since he was 6 or 7 years old, and he was like, I didn't have a backup plan. I never had a backup plan, and a lot of elite athletes that you talk to, they never had a backup plan. And I think that is a pretty intense way of going at things, especially in the world of wrestling. I mean, you're one injury away from one bad landing and it's over.
Yeah. Well, I have my degree.
Yeah, you have your backup degree. So you did have a backup plan forced upon by your dad.
Yeah.
So coming to the United States, well, let's see. I want to talk about this longest reigning cruiserweight champ. I mean, in history, how'd you accomplish that? What's the deal there? So
I was doing pretty good with NXT UK over here in the United Kingdom, and I was having a few good matches, and I was kind of in the main event scene of NXT UK, and they asked me, do I want to come over to the States and travel back and forth? This is just before COVID struck. So I was over and back, I think four times a month, and I won the Cruiserweight title in Houston, Texas, at a pay-per-view called Worlds Collide. So we had a NXT versus NXT UK pay-per-view. Right. And as an NXT UK roster member, I won a NXT title. That's awesome. And then you just held it. Yeah. That's awesome. So do you have like these belts in your house? Oh yeah. They sent me a replica once I lost it, and you have little side plates with your name on it. So that's awesome. In my parents' house in Ireland. You can't. So he's currently in the middle of moving into a new apartment right now, and he's just taking out his morning to come and do this. So let me ask you this: well, first of all, let's get into some investing, because your investing story is pretty wild. I said to you, kind of, how did you find investing? And I want you to tell that story about the conference that you went to with this multi-million. This was phenomenal. I mean, guys, listen to this. No offense to you, no offense to anybody in the audience. We've all been naive. We've all wanted to start somewhere. And you look at somebody who has a lot of money, who has a lot of followers, whatever it is, and you go, oh, they really know what the hell they're talking about. So you obviously trusted this guy. Go ahead and tell that story. Yeah. So I was working in telesales to support my fledgling wrestling career when I was on the independents, to pay for like flights and stuff to get me where I needed to go. And I met this businessman. He was multimillionaire. He ran this conference every year. I won't name him, of course. But I remember I was doing a little bit of work for him, and I thought, this guy has it together and he knows how to make money. And I said to him, I want to get into investing. I still at this point didn't have any money, but I knew that I wouldn't. I'd done the math, and I knew that you never save your way to being a millionaire.
And how old were you at this point?
Mid-20s.
Okay.
So I said, how do you make money? How do you make your money make money? And he looked me dead in the face and he goes, have you ever heard of Ethereum? And I put a huge chunk of my net worth at that time, probably like $1,000 into Ethereum, and lost 80% of it and sold it and didn't think about it investing again for a few years after that.
Yeah. So, well, see, that I actually think that you not wanting to invest after that, after a few, that to me was like, okay, there's something there that says to me you get it, because you did something that you didn't. I mean, you were naive about, and that's fine. But then you were like, okay, I'm not going to go and double dip on this and try to make my money back. That is, I think, something that kind of was always there in you, because the way we're going to get into it, but the way we was talking, like, yeah, this guy's a value investor. He has the discipline. So what was your next step? Because you told me about 2020 and the meme stocks.
Yeah, so that was my intro. And then the next time I got in a hot tip was a friend of mine said, have you seen this GameStop stuff? It's going crazy. I've made loads of money. And I kept an eye on the stock, and I saw it go up and I saw it come down again. And I said, right, that's different to Ethereum. That's a real company, and that has real financials. And it just didn't like knit in for me. I was like, why is this happening to a real company?
Right.
So then I saw the term short squeeze, and I looked that up, and I from there I really like start generating an interest in earnings, financials, and everything that goes into like the financials of a company influencing the price. And I knew it didn't knit up with GameStop, and that's how I got into it.
Yeah. And then how did you find us? How did you find Everything Money?
So I was trying to piece it all together, and I kind of always had an idea that like price and value aren't the same thing. Like price is what you pay, value is what you get. I the first time I heard that phrase was you guys.
How awesome.
And I was trying to put it all together, and I think I'd figured out like what a PE ratio was or something. And I was on YouTube trawling, and I saw an Intel video from you guys, and I subscribed, I think, that week to the channel, and I signed up for everythingmoney.com.
That's all. And we hooked you, and you've been in ever since.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of Intel, we were talking about it before the show about the Intel earnings that came out. And we'll get into it in a little bit later, but man, we were both saying we need to go in and reevaluate. I mean, I looked at it a little bit this morning, but damn, their revenues and whatnot. I mean, you're in Intel, I'm in Intel, so this is definitely a situation that we go back to and start looking for. But so obviously you have the disciplined lifestyle, the diet, the training, etc. That has to be what just drew you into the value investing world. I mean, if you buy a stock, how long are you holding it for?
Like, I have the Guy Spier rule, minimum 2 years. So I don't care if my stock falls in half. I'm going to give it 2 years to see what it does, and then I'll reevaluate. Because I think if I was reevaluating, say Intel, for example, I would find a reason to get out of it.
Right. I mean,
I want to give anything that I buy, I've liked the story of, I've liked the financials of, and I want to give it a chance. So I think 2 years is my absolute minimum for anything.
So how long have you been kind of studying value investing, truly studying it and understanding it? A couple of years now?
Less, I think probably 18 months.
Oh, really? That's awesome.
Maybe a little bit longer, maybe closer to 2 years than 18 months, but that short.
Yeah, I think that's great. And honestly, I do think it fits along with your lifestyle. So there's a lot of people in the EM community, a lot in the bid and ask, that talk about the diet and et cetera. So what's your kind of day-to-day look like? It's got to be stringent.
Yeah, so I get up nice and early. I'll have, do you want the diet? Do you want the meals?
Give it to me. I know it's probably boring as hell, and everyone's like, why is this guy eating this stuff?
I have a smoothie in the mornings with oats, milk, frozen fruits, protein, creatine. I'll have my cup of coffee. I'll probably more than likely watch the morning show while that digests. I'll go to the gym. I'll do my workout for the day. I'll come back. I'll eat again. Later on, I'll go to the performance center, have a wrestle around. Maybe if there's something to be taped for the show on Tuesday, I'll do that. Come home, get a little tan on at the pool, have my dinner. Yeah, it's not a hard life, but it's just you gotta
I will say this is the first time I'm hearing this. It doesn't actually sound that bad.
No, I mean,
I thought it was going to be like this brutal thing where you're in a dungeon and it's miserable and you're like, this is very rough.
I'm kind of reaping the benefits of that when I was younger.
Yeah, exactly. And then, I mean, it's as you were telling me that your girlfriend, soon to be fiance, it's just brutal. The same meals over and over.
Yeah, I mean, I drive her nuts because I have the same breakfast, same lunch, every day, and have done for the last I don't know how many years. There's a little bit of wiggle room around dinner time, so we have a similar dinner. But yeah, I'm a big guy for preparing meals in advance. On the Sunday night, I'll have a big batch of my lunches cooked up, and I'll divide it into 5 and fridge some. And
right.
Yeah,
so I was actually thinking, this just popped into my head right now. You're a very disciplined person. You follow rules. You follow regimens. You should. I should pull you into the Bid and Ask Nation, and maybe while you're sitting there at the pool, we should do some kind of teaching series, challenge, something for you to learn trading, because I know that you haven't delved into trading yet.
Not yet. Terrified after the Ethereum saga. But.
After the Ethereum. So the good news is there's a person in our Bid and Ask Nation. His name is Gianni. You probably heard his name mentioned before or seen him in the chat. He's like, Mo, I made 20% this week on Bitcoin, just going long and short, and that's all he does is just trade. It's incredible. Oh, here he is. He said, "Come to Manchester. I'll drop kick you blind." That's what he said to me. He's always threatening me. And people are asking, where do you live?
Currently, I live in Orlando, Florida.
Yeah. So he just moved to Orlando so the main training facility is in Orlando.
Yeah, we have a state-of-the-art performance center here.
Yeah. So what is what's your favorite stock? Is it WWE?
No, you know what? In the 2 years that I have, understood financials, WWE has never fallen into my my target price range. It's always been overvalued.
Yeah, and so, there's a lot of drama going on there right now with Vince McMahon, and honestly, I don't know what the drama is. I guess he's retiring or something, but does that change anything for you guys?
No, I mean, if anything, I think it's probably good news for me. Vince loves a 6'6" jack guy.
Oh, so it kind of helps. It kind of helps you smaller guys out. So what's your height and weight?
I'm 5'10".
Okay.
And I'm 195 pounds.
Okay. Well, damn, you got 15 pounds on me. I'm 5'10" too. This is incredible, guys. I'm talking to Jordan Devlin, WWE star JD McDonagh. What's that? Devlin.
Yeah.
You know what? I've said it so many times. It's Devlin. Who am I talking about? There's a country singer out there with the last name Delvin, and that's why I keep saying it that way, because I've never met a Devlin.
Yeah, people get it mixed up all the time.
And I was telling myself this whole time, and here I did it. But where do you travel? Is all your recording done in Orlando, or do you have a hefty travel schedule at some point?
Yeah, so the main roster, Raw and SmackDown, have an insane schedule. They're all over the States.
All over the stadiums and arenas everywhere.
Pre-COVID, NXT were doing loops of, say, California, or if we had a pay-per-view in Houston, we'd do a road trip and we'd hit a few towns between Orlando and Houston.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but we get on the road around Florida now every other weekend.
Oh, that's not that. So you're all based in Florida stuff.
Yeah, for now, yeah.
And I mean, I saw you have quite the following of fans. I mean, I started. We did a collaboration post on Instagram. By the way, guys, I want you to let's go here. Here you can follow You can follow Jordan, JD. You're gonna have to search him, JD_McDonough on Instagram. Follow him over there. But I noticed you have quite the following, quite the fanboys, quite the fangirls. It's incredible. I mean, I've been seeing. So now my Instagram feed is just all like wrestling and your fans and JD fan groups, and I'm just like, what is going on here?
Yeah, there's a few accounts on Twitter that will like pretend to be wrestlers, and they like date other wrestlers and things. They have a little conversation. It's way above my head. It's
definitely a different world out there than anything that I've been exposed to. So do you have a favorite stock? This is a question that we just keep getting.
I keep on buying Meta, and it keeps on going lower, and I just can't get away from how good the story is. I think it's super overrated.
Did you look at their earnings report that came out? Was that Wednesday?
Not yet. I haven't had a chance to look at it yet.
So I looked at it and I'm like, okay, revenue, it shrunk a bit. Usership was still consistent. And I'm like, this is not bad, because here's the reason that, and we'll talk a little bit about investing. The reason that I don't like these comparisons that they're making to 2021, it just doesn't make sense to me. Mm-hmm. You had people sitting at home, not doing anything, and all of this money went to Facebook and Google ad revenue, and now it's slowing and usership is slowing. And I'm like, guys, you have to be comparing these numbers to 2019. It's just very basic common sense.
Yeah, I think they're so saturated into society and so interwoven into everybody's life now. There's no way people are getting away from it in the next 5 years.
Yeah, I mean, it's Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp. I'm probably missing something else. I mean, you have the metaverse. Not even the metaverse. I don't care about the metaverse. You have the goggle things, the quests. I mean, that's a video game system in and of itself. So, oh boy, here we go. Please ask JD what he thinks about Alibaba.
Yeah, that's another one. I feel like I copied you guys a lot early into knowing you. I have Baba stock. I was buying it at the low 200s. I've averaged down the whole way. Still sitting comfy. I don't see the problem.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I just keep looking at company, and again, so I think it was Monday, they listed to be direct on Hong Kong exchange or something. And I'm like, well, that's fine. They could be on whatever exchange they want to be on. The company doesn't change for me. So does it help? Who knows? But I don't know. So more into the value investing world. Where do you have the time to sit down and evaluate a company? I mean, do you use the chat? How do you kind of go about your buying a stock outside of watching our videos? Like, I guess it's a good question. Now that you're in the WWE NXT series, you're definitely making a little bit of money. What are you kind of doing the average investor, put it in S&P ETFs, let it roll? Or are you doing more individual stock picking? How do you approach that? Because I think, not to interrupt you, but I think this is really cool. The reason I wanted him on, I think that not enough people get behind the scenes of what professional athletes do in any sport in this country. All you see is the ESPN documentary that comes out that says broke. You don't get to see behind the scenes of somebody that grows their wealth and does it the right way, because they're the quiet ones. They just don't want to talk because they're not flashy. They don't need to get all of this accolades and whatnot. So how do you approach that now that you suddenly came into, I'm assuming, bigger money than before?
Yeah, for sure. So I have my pension gets paid every single month. I pay into that, and that goes directly into a mix of the S&P 500, emerging markets, and China large cap stocks. Okay,
so you are doing the China stuff.
Yeah. I think by the time I'm retiring, they're all going to be a much bigger deal here now. They're going to be doing better.
Yep.
So yeah, it goes into that every single month, dollar cost average. Don't think about it. It's automatic setup, and then I kind of just, when I get time, I'll sit down at the laptop. I use apart from everything money, I use a website called Guru Focus.
Guru Focus is awesome.
Yeah. So I have a membership for that as well. And yeah, if I see something in the news, for instance, if I didn't have Intel stock, I would see the whatever percent drop it is today, and I would delve into it and see if it's interesting.
Right.
I'd come up with a price that I wanted to pay for it, and if it was below that, I'd put a little bit of money towards it.
Yeah, that's great. Are you investing in any UK companies? That's what people are asking.
No, not at the moment. No,
I'm not either. So for me, I haven't digged into them enough. I don't understand the market over there. I've never even been there. I'm going in November for the first time to London, but of course, that's not going to give me any exposure into how should I pick a company or whatnot.
Yeah.
Let's see here. I'm just reading some questions. Oh boy. Would you rather be in a steel cage match with Jim Cramer or the Iron Sheik?
I think Cramer, the more I never really paid any attention to him or knew who he was before I came over here, but I can't believe they let him on the television, to be honest with you.
Dude, it's outrageous. I don't know if you saw the tweet that I put up the other day. It was back in, I think it was April of 2021, he said, we like Coinbase to $475 a share. Never got there. And then this week, maybe it was last week, he tweeted, I'm glad that that Coinbase is finally under federal investigation. They should be in crime for what. And I'm just like, what is going on here?
Yeah, I follow an account on Twitter called Inverse Kramer, and it just shows all his like gaffes and things that he has messed up. And the shame is that I'm probably paying more attention to what he's saying than the people that follow his tips are. You know what I mean?
100%. Your thoughts on Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger? Obviously, they're the gods in value investing. Have you read any of their books? Followed them at all? I mean, to me, the track record that we have of Warren Buffett we have 50 plus years of documentation on him. That to me makes him my favorite investor of all time. You don't have that from anybody else in pretty much any industry. What do you think about those guys? Do you follow them at all? Read about them?
Yeah, I absolutely love the two of them. I think they are like modern day sages. You know,
it's
wise
incredible.
Old men. People travel the whole world to sit in a room with them and listen to what they have to say. I absolutely love the two of them.
They're incredible, and I think their yin and yang is pretty funny. Charlie gives zero, whats, and Charlie is very much like Paul. I mean, what you see from Paul that's what you get. Actually, that is not what you get. He's pretty censored on YouTube. There's some stuff that he says, and I'm just like, bro, wrong setting. He's like, what? I'm like, what? Yeah, if you guys think that Paul's bad on air, you ain't seen nothing yet. Do you wear an expensive watch?
Nope. No, I don't. I got an elastic band around my wrist. Nothing on this one. No jewelry.
You'd be popping that off, not on and off nonstop.
Yeah.
Let's see. Gianni just said, "Are you from Belfast? You sound like my mate Dave from Belfast."
No, I am from the Republic of Ireland, the south.
That's right.
It's only about an hour up there. The entire length of the country you can travel in about 3 hours. So the accents don't get too far apart,
Yeah. So people want to know what cars you own. I mean, I assume you just moved to Florida. So do you have a car yet?
Not yet.
You've only been here for a little over a month. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah. I went to a car dealership recently and they offered me 28% APR on a finance loan because I have no credit yet.
Oh my
so I'm gonna have to buy something. Yeah. I'm just not willing to even entertain that. So I'm gonna get a mid-sized car for the first year.
Yeah.
And then when I got some good credit in a year or so, I'll splash out on a good car.
That's a good. What's your favorite car out there? What do you want? What were you going for?
I had a BMW in Ireland and I loved it.
You love the brand.
Yeah.
I will say I had a BMW once. Those things are the ultimate driving machine. I'm not a big fan of the technology that's in them, but they are just so much fun to drive. It's a tight drive. Yeah, it's awesome. Let's see here. Any other? Oh, so who's your favorite wrestler in the right now? I mean, do you get to work with like your heroes now?
Yeah. So I went to had a live event in Daytona Beach recently with the Raw guys, and I tagged along to that just to say hi to a few people. And Rey Mysterio was backstage, and I remember his debut in 2002. I was watching that, and I just said hello to him, and it was just super cool to meet like a legend of wrestling. Everyone knows who Mysterio is.
Anytime I meet where were we? So we were in Chicago recently, and I saw there was a really great catcher. He could end up in the Hall of Fame one day, Joe Mauer. And I was like, saw him in the hotel, and I'm like, I don't really want to say anything to him. I just don't know what to say to the guy. I don't want to bother him. I'll just give him a head nod. You don't know what to say to these guys. I mean,
I know. Because you understand like a fan, and everyone says the same stuff like, "Oh, I just watched this since I was a kid, and I loved you." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, this is a question I've seen a couple times. Are you in any gold or silver? Not to put you on the spot here, but I mean, people want to hear from. I think it's great from your perspective. You're kind of the person that's just getting into this. Are you understanding any commodities?
No, I'm not into any gold. I'm into cash generating businesses. I think.
Yeah. See, that's why I'm in the miners, just because they are more of the cash generators. I'm not into buying the actual physical gold, physical silver. It's just really not my thing. Oh, this is a great question. Weirdest thing a fan has given you?
I I've gotten some nice like hand drawings of myself, of varying quality through the years, but I've kept them all. Um, I've gotten some undergarments
Of
in
course, who
the,
doesn't get those?
yeah, sent to the performance center. They went in the bin, unfortunately. Didn't keep yeah, that's it so far. I'm still quite early on into, being a NXT
Of
superstar.
course. Yep.
So I'm sure as my fan base grows, the weirdness will
Oh,
increase.
it's gonna creep up. I mean, it seems like the more famous you get. I mean, it's definitely you're way bigger than I am. That's for sure. I mean, you're going global at this point, and there's some weird stuff that people send me, and I'm just like, what is going on here? There's stuff.
Yeah.
There's some days I'll show up to the office and I'll walk in, and Tim's like, "You got a package." I was like, "Oh God, what is in this package?"
What's going to be in here? Put your rubber gloves on.
Yeah, exactly. I want to be like, "Can we have somebody else open this thing for me?" I don't want to sacrifice myself. Guys, keep asking questions. Let them come in. What do you think about Tesla and Elon Musk? And I think you should go into what you think about the Twitter deal and then Tesla too.
Yeah, I've stayed away from Tesla. I would
Mhm.
love to own it.
Yep.
Just outrageously overpriced as long as I've been following it.
Yeah.
I like Elon.
He's
I think
great.
he's doing everything he's doing for society. I can kind of back.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I'll live to see his mission to Mars.
I know. He thinks it's going to be like tomorrow, but
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, I'd love to own a Tesla. Any Tesla I've been in has been great.
it's
Yeah, I'm just waiting for it to fall.
you got to drive the Model S. When I come down in the summer, I'm sorry, in the summer. I'm not coming in the summer. In the winter, I'll let you drive mine. It's a great car. You're gonna want one.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'll hold you.
Okay. Let's see here. Let's see. Intel. Oh, everybody's asking about Intel. Everybody wants to know about Intel. Everybody is thinking about Intel. No, he
What
has
would it
not.
take you to reconsider and to sell?
Yeah. There you go. Oh, great question from Tony. How common is investing in the wrestling world?
Anyone that I have talked to in the locker room about investing have been kind of into the hype stocks.
The usual stuff.
I don't come across many like people that say, "Oh, I own Hewlett Packard."
Right. They're probably like, "What is Hewlett Packard?"
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
let me ask you this. I mean, do they have it? I mean, once you get to the WWE, everybody's making a little bit more money. Do they start giving you financial planners and kind of laying it out for you and help people be successful in that area?
I haven't had any exposure to that just yet. I think when you get to, as I said, the main roster,
Mm-hmm.
you're pulling in considerably more money, and I think they have little seminars and things like that to help
Right.
you manage your money and to transition out of wrestling into a different career. I think a lot of the guys go into real estate.
Gotcha.
They buy up a lot of units when they're making money, and then they transition
have
to
that
real
to fall
estate.
back on.
Yeah.
So what's your plan? What's your next plan going forward? I mean, you're 32 now, correct?
Yep.
So what's
32.
the plan in for you in WWE and professional wrestling, etc.?
So I'm quite lucky that your 30s and even sometimes into your 40s can be your prime years as a sports entertainer.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like my body feels good. I think I can get another 10 years out of in-ring stuff.
That's awesome.
And I really enjoy coaching wrestling. I was coaching in Ireland before I left. I had started to produce some matches in NXT UK before I left.
Yeah.
So I'd like to move into a backstage role with WWE. As I said, never grew out of wrestling. Still think it's really cool. Still think it's one of the best forms of entertainment on earth. So I just never want to leave it. I never want to transition into anything else.
So if you don't want to, I don't want to give away the secrets of everything that you told me. Guys, he was telling me about is this okay if I talk about this?
Yeah.
Okay. So we were talking about, to me, I'm a casual fan, and I'm sure a lot of people are out there and you watch it on TV and you're just there for the entertainment. He was explaining to me the behind the scenes, and it's not really so much about the wrestling as it is about the getting the fans going, and the ref plays a big part in this because he's talking about big finishers going into commercial breaks and stuff. Talk about that. I mean, this is stuff that we don't even see. Like, I saw something on Tuesday that I probably shouldn't have seen. Go
that
ahead.
you wouldn't have seen had we not been speaking.
Exactly right.
Yeah. So that's why I think I keep falling further in love with wrestling. The higher up I go, the more I realize that the moves that the guys do have little consequence. It is
Hmm.
about getting an emotional reaction from the crowd, and you can
Right.
do any move in a placeholder to get there. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So the most important thing for there's a stigma amongst pro wrestling ultra fans about being a sports entertainer versus a wrestler. And I think being a sports entertainer is a badge of honor because you can be an athlete and not be entertaining at all when you stick a microphone in your face,
Exactly.
and that's fine. You can be an entertainer and not be athletic, and that's fine. But when you're a pro wrestler working for WWE, you've got to be both. You got to live
Hmm.
it. You got to have a body that can withstand 100, 120 pro wrestling matches a year, which is
Right.
like a car crash. No
I,
mistake.
I
It is
mean,
so demanding.
one night of wrestling has to be similar to probably a quarter of football or
I bet.
one half of a game of football. I mean, and then you're doing it 120 times a year.
Yeah, and then you have to be able to pick up a microphone and captivate an audience live with no outtakes, no bloopers. Like, you got to just have a microphone and be able to do that. You have to be able to do media interviews like this comfortably.
Yeah.
So you have to be a jack of all trades. And you have to do it all well, and so that's why I think that being a sports entertainer is just it keeps on getting better. There's more to
Right.
learn every year that my career passes.
Right. And here I have this right here. I mean, this was JD walking around and talking to the crowd on Tuesday night. So obviously you're just walking up to random people, right?
Yeah,
And you're really hoping that they have some type of response.
yeah.
Like the one guy you went up to about the popcorn, I'm just like, oh my God, this has to be so difficult to do.
Yeah, getting right in his face. See the fear in his eyes.
Yeah,
What are you gonna
that
say?
kid, he looked like he was about to poop himself. He was like, you're gonna choke on popcorn or something like this.
Yeah, but it's fun. It just
Okay,
keeps getting better and better, man.
what's that?
It just keeps on getting better and better. The
Yeah,
more that you have to learn, and the more you have to think about, the more interesting it gets to me.
yeah, exactly. And the great thing is, I mean, no two nights are the same. I'm sure
Exactly.
you've probably seen everything, but you also don't know what you're going to see next.
Yeah.
So that's got to be pretty incredible. Somebody said, do you ever comment in the Everything Money chat?
Every now and again, yeah. I'm not a big commenter.
Yeah.
I sit back and observe more
Read.
often than I comment.
Yeah. Well, that seems like, I mean, that to me is a true value investor. Most of them don't talk much. They don't come out. If you look at anybody, they're just quiet. They're not vocal. They read a lot and they don't say very much.
Yeah.
Favorite clothing brand? Do you have a sponsor or anything like that?
No. I wear a lot of Nike,
Yeah, me too.
sportswear. Since I've come to Florida, it's been shorts and flip flops.
That's
I
it.
left
So
all of my nice stuff at home.
yeah, so I
I'm
lived
not
in Florida for 3 years. You can basically throw your shoes away because nobody wears
Yeah,
shoes there.
yeah. I'm not a very flash guy. I don't. I all my flash clothes I've bought just to wear on television. That's
Hmm.
it. On my day to day, I'm super laid back sportswear.
Yeah, when I saw this shirt that you were wearing, I was like, where does one get that shirt?
I think that's a brand called Father Sons.
That shirt was incredible.
Yeah.
Thoughts on Dwayne Johnson? Is he what everybody aspires to be, or is that? I mean, the amazing thing about DJ is he's still I mean, the guy's currently making like 124 million a year, significantly more than he was making in WWE. But of course, I mean, has tons of different avenue streams. But is that kind of what everybody aspires to get to?
Yeah. I mean, I'm obsessed with his he's just one of these like high performing human beings. You know, the people that get up religiously every
Yep.
day, 4 a.m. and just work and work and work, and they're always busy. They've
Yep.
always got projects. He's insane. I think that I have a pretty good schedule going, but it's like nothing compared to him. He's working like 300 days a year, like a
I know.
maniac.
And the amazing thing to me, I mean, he literally does not take a day off. He travels with that gym.
Yeah,
He travels probably with a couple $100,000 gym. It's just, if not million. I mean, that gym is ridiculous.
yeah.
But
I love hearing stories about how guys like him and Kevin Hart, Jay-Z, all these people that
Yeah.
have just exploded past what their profession was, and they're just
Have
all
you
consuming.
have you ever met him?
No, never.
Okay. Does he hang around a lot around the WWE, or is it only when he kind of comes in
No, I think it's only when he comes back
when
for
he's
like
doing
say
some
a
type of
WrestleMania or
promo?
an appearance, whatever. His daughter Simone is in the Performance Center, and I see her
I
every
did know that. Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, she's in Orlando.
yeah. She's training.
Oh, okay. Well, you're definitely gonna meet him one day. He'll be in there at some point.
To
People want
pick
to
her
know,
up
do you use a
from
financial
work.
advisor?
Yeah, I have a financial advisor just to give me a little bit of advice. I got him. I started doing business with him 3 years ago, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you gonna stick with that, or are you gonna eventually take it on yourself?
So he was taking care of my pension when I first opened it, and he was just saying, "This is
Gotcha.
how you do it, blah blah blah. This is how you set it up." And then in the last year or so, I moved my money from the fund it was in, where I had no control over where it was going, and I changed it to a self-directed investment.
Right. Right. So on your picks like Meta, Baba, Intel, et cetera, do you do any options?
Not yet, no.
Okay. If you ever want to get into that, just let me know. That's a great stream of income. I don't know how much you're working with that you don't put into your pension or whatever, but it is an excellent stream of options. It'll probably take you 30 minutes a day at the most.
Yeah, so I was really limited in Ireland as to the
Correct.
investment platforms I had. So now that
Yeah.
I'm here and I have options
Oh, you
open
have endless options
Ireland,
now.
and yeah, I'll be able to find something for sure.
Yeah. So your girlfriend, soon to be fiance, she's coming over in September. Did you say?
Yes, yeah, she got some stuff she's got to finish up at home and work herself, and then she's gonna pack that in and come over to be a lady of leisure.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, she'll enjoy it. Florida's a great place for it. She'll get here in September. She doesn't have to worry about the probably April. It will be a rude awakening for her when the weather comes around.
Oh, I bet. She's
What?
obviously she's a redhead. She's Irish. She's a redhead.
Yeah,
So it's probably for the best that she's not here for July.
exactly.
August.
She's gonna get burned up. She's investing in a lot of SPF.
Yeah,
That's what you need to get a sponsorship in SPF.
that would be smart. Yeah, sure.
What are some of your favorite books on investing that you've read?
I read The Intelligent Investor.
Great
That was
book.
the first investing book I read. It took
Of
me
course.
a few sessions to get through that.
Yeah.
Um, I have them all. I brought them all over with me. I read. God, I'm going blank now. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're good. Richer, Wiser, Happier. Oh,
Richard Wiser,
you said Guy
Happier.
Spear, Education of a Value Investor?
Yeah, I read that one. I read James Clear, Atomic Habits.
Of course.
Love that one.
A great book.
Yeah. What are some of the other ones from the book club?
Pardon me?
What are the other ones from the book club?
So we did Richer, Wiser, Happier. We've done that was our very first one. Education of a Value Investor. What was the second one? Paul and I did a first one. I can't remember what it was now, though. I'm sure somebody here in the chat can go ahead and say it for me. But yeah, I'm drawing a complete blank. If you're interested in a good book, this is a good one. I should just send this one to you. It's just called Charlie Munger, The Complete Investor, and it's kind of about Charlie. And it's a really great book. It's just really fun. Charlie's a very interesting cat, that's for sure.
Yeah, I read
Unfortunately, I'm never
essays
going to get to
Warren
meet him.
Buffett, all the Berkshire Hathaway shareholder annual meeting notes.
Yeah.
They've been compiled into like a book. I read that one as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a good book. So that was one of Guy Spear's first things that he read.
Oh, right,
along
okay.
with Monish Pabrai. Yeah. The first book was Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel.
Yeah, that was an unbelievable book. That was
very good book. Very good book. Who's your favorite investor?
Warren, for sure.
Warren. And I agree. It has to be Warren. I mean, we have so much history on him. How do you pick somebody else except for just liking their attitude?
Yeah.
Do you want to go to Disney World?
So I'm waiting for my girlfriend to come out to Florida before I do
to.
anything of like touristy stuff or even go to nice restaurants or whatever. I have a notepad in my phone saved up with loads of different places.
Oh, yeah. There's tons of great stuff to do. I mean, you're in the city to do a lot of things. You're a very short drive from Tampa. You're not the worst drive from Miami, Palm Beach area. I mean, you're going to have a lot of fun in Florida. It's a really great state. Well, anything that you want to plug? I'm going to plug your Instagram here. I'm going to plug your WWE here. Anything else that you want to talk about?
No, I'm good, man. I'm on the USA Network every Tuesday at 8 p.m. And I just want to take this time to thank you guys for saving my financial life. I'm really happy I came across you guys early on into my investing career, and I learned the right way.
I appreciate it, man. So, guys, come over here. Follow him on Instagram, JD_McDonough. Here he is on WWE. Like he said, you can watch him every Tuesday night on the USA Network. It's very entertaining. I'll tell you that much right now. So, Jordan, thanks a lot for coming on the show. You're welcome back anytime. I'll see you when I come down to Florida. Have a great day.
Absolutely.
Catch you guys on the flippity flop.
Thanks, guys.